morning, Vernon, and welcome to Free Spirit.
Thank you, Natalie.
Now, let's start at the beginning. What was the experience that set you off on your journey initially?
Well, what happened to me is I was invited to a demonstration of hypnosis. And I watched them doing a demonstration where somebody stood up, he was hypnotized, and then told to bend over and anesthetized his behind and then gave him a hiding. And I watched this and I was amazed to see that when he stood up and they took his pants down a little bit just to see, there were no marks on his behind. And I thought, wow, this is really remarkable. And so I started to study hypnosis. And as soon as I started doing that, then my world started to change. And one day when I was working with a lady, all of a sudden I felt this intuitive kind of side of me opening up. I didn't know what it was. I just was aware that what she was saying, what she was asking for, wasn't what her truth was. And all of a sudden I was looking at her life. And as I was looking at her, I just knew that a certain age was where the issue is. And so I said to her, by the way, what's happened at, say, 6 years old? And she just burst into tears. And I found it quite extraordinary that I was able to see something that she didn't know. And so from that process, I started to develop it and to learn certain ways of helping them to release it very quickly. And then what started to happen to me is when somebody, say, sat down in front of me wanting to, say, lose weight, and then what I would do is I would look at the energy and I would see where the emotion is sitting. But then I found what was happening to me is I was aware of a belief system that started to come to me. So I would be able to see the words coming to me, or I would just know it was that belief system. Now the belief system can be something very simple, such as, I don't have any more power. And so I will say to them, does this sentence make sense to you? You know, I don't have any power. And they will say yes. And then I will say, okay, now follow that. And they would then follow the emotion, what's happening. And when you touch a certain age or a memory, and you don't even have to remember what it was, as soon as they've touched the emotion where it comes from, that whole program disappears. It's quite remarkable to watch, to see them then, because they know deep within themselves they've neutralized that belief system.
So it no longer has any power over them.
And what's very interesting with their body, because it's always your body, you ask them, what are you feeling now? And all of them say, I feel calm. I feel at peace. So once you've neutralized that one level of your body, what will happen again is like an onion. Another level is sitting there to do with that issue. It's very rare that you see one energy and neutralize it. There's about 4 or 5 levels. And when I was working with people, I noticed this phenomenon, that every time they healed it completely, 2 things happened. Their body became very, very relaxed, and a tingling sensation runs through their body. And then as I started to practice it more and more, I found that this tingling was the end of the process. And that is where the body is more in flow with itself, and spirit that they connected to is running completely through the channels of their body.
So you're saying that when it's to quiet the mind and listen to the body, is that what you help people do
Right.
in your work, is to translate, because we could be sitting in quietude and feeling certain things in our bodies, but how to translate that into our experience, is that part of what you do?
Exactly. So my aim is first of all to allow the person to align themselves to their spirit. Because as soon as you align yourself to your truth, your body cannot get in the way. Now when the body is feeling this energy that all of a sudden comes up, as you allow the truth or the energy of what you're feeling to filter through that, it neutralizes itself. as soon as you break through that barrier of I can feel, you're on a new, your whole life, your whole mission in life will change.
That's an interesting thought and fact, because most of us do intellectualize and place so much store in being logical. And so you're saying is to still the mind and allow the body to speak and the feelings to speak,
Exactly.
which is a leap for a lot of people.
They have been conditioned to think it through and or to brainstorm it. But when you go into the feeling mode of it, you know it's 100%. And those that are very, very good at whatever they're doing are the ones that really feel. They got the gut feeling. It's when you are flowing in that everything will run. Because now you're in your present, and here you are right now, feeling that emotion. So it's important to be here right now, not in your past, not in your future.